Is December 8th, 2020. I'm going to give you all some quick numbers on COVID. After that, we're going to talk about HIV and aging. We had 1,294 new cases today. There's a total of 132 deaths under investigation, and so far there have been 14,006 deaths confirmed by Metro Health. On the little status bar at the top of the page, it says that we are moderate. And in big red letters underneath that, it says worsening. So make sure when you're out, you have your mask, you're doing your social distancing, and taking every step to be as safe as possible. Because even though you may have had it, you can still get it again. So now we're going to talk about HIV and aging. I'm going to read a few things from the CDC. The things I'm going to read are actually referred back to 2018, because that's the latest year that we have numbers on. But these reports are actually from within the last 2 to 3 months of this year. So, in fact, in 2018, over half, which is 51% of the people in the United States and its areas, 51% of those people were age 50 or older. And that means 1 in 6 new HIV diagnoses were among people who are 50 years of age and older, which, with the exception of that's everyone that's in this room. So
I don't know why I'm here. I'm at 70.
Well, actually, we'll get to that because being older actually affects how your body reacts to treatments and things. So. Real quick, the HIV diagnosis of people age 50 and older, the trends by sex. Between 2014 and 2018, in men, it declined by 8%. In women, it stayed stable. When you break it down into transmission by categories, men, injection use was down 15%. Heterosexual contact was down 13%. Male-to-male sexual contact and injection drug use, again, this is men, is down 12%. And then male-to-male sexual contact, again, between 2014 and 2018, was down a total of 6%. Whereas women who had heterosexual contact remained stable between that same time period. And women using injection drugs was down 5%.
So this is new infection rates between that time?
That's new infection rates. So that means that we've actually had a decrease in new infection rates between 2014 and 2018. We don't have statistics yet for the last 2 years. And again, this is coming from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. People age 55 and older, which I'm actually the only one up here that this qualifies for. 9 in 10 people age 55 and older knew they had the virus. And it's important that people age 50 and older to know their HIV status so that they can take the medicines to treat HIV if they do have the virus, and make sure they take their HIV medication every day. In 2018, there were 11,425 deaths among people aged 50 and older who have been diagnosed with HIV. And these deaths could actually be from any cause, but it's basically people who have been diagnosed with HIV who have died during 2018. And those are CDC numbers. I'm actually going to post this website, so if y'all want to take a look at these, there's some really nice graphs you can take a look at and do it all over. The next one that I'm going to read to you and read from is Medical News Today. It happens to be growing old with HIV challenges. I believe this was actually published very recently. It was published December 8th, so it was actually published today. So this is a very new report. And the remarkable success of antiretroviral therapy means that most people with HIV can now expect to live long and fulfilling lives. However, the increasing number of older people with HIV still face a range of challenges to their physical and mental health. And we're going to get into that. In 2018, 51% of people with a diagnosis of HIV living in the United States and its dependents were age 50 years and older, which I just mentioned from the CDC. It tends to take longer for older people to get diagnosed. In 2015, for example, 50% of the people aged 55 and older who received a diagnosis of HIV had already been infected for 4.5 years. Do you know how long you were infected? Did they give you an idea?
No.
Okay. I know that they were able to tell me when I was diagnosed. Of course, I was only 43 when I was initially diagnosed.
How can
That I had probably only been infected for about 6 months.
How can they tell?
You know that I don't know, but maybe you know.
You know?
I've heard that they can tell by the strain that you have, and doing some sort of genotype testing. They can see, you know, they can follow the strain of the virus and pretty much give a timeline of who got the virus at what point in time and how it got passed on to others. But then when they also do the genotype testing, they're able to detect, I guess, how long it's been in your system. Now, I'm not too sure if that's all correct. It's stuff that I heard very minimally when I was working at Beat, so don't quote me on it.
Like I said, when I was diagnosed, they did tell me 6 to 8 months. They couldn't say, well, 6 months, 7 months, or 8 months. They gave me a time frame, which kind of coincides with the time that I had unprotected sex with a specific person that I knew gave it to me. He was the first person I had unprotected sex with. So.
No names.
Research suggests that people who receive the diagnosis later tend to respond less well to antiretroviral therapy. So basically it means the older you are, the less responsive your body is going to be to receiving.
Say that again?
The older you are, the less responsive your body is going to be to the medications that you're given.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, because when you're getting older, your body's, I guess, getting tired of doing things.
The more you get older and you get into care, the less the HIV medication is going to work.
So
The less it's going to work.
yeah, so that basically that says that
Basically, the older you are, the medication doesn't work.
the older you are when you get diagnosed.
Yeah, when you get diagnosed.
Because let's say I was initially diagnosed at 43. Well, let's say I didn't get diagnosed at 43 and I got diagnosed at 7. Because there was a 7-year gap there. That HIV has time to work on your body and break down your organs, your mental capacities and things like that. So when you do start taking the medications, damage has already been done to your body. So it's going to be less
Plus you're
healthy.
70 years old, like, nothing works the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you say you had it for that long period of time before you found out you were positive, when you were going to the doctors, wouldn't you get tested for that? Wouldn't they kind of figure something was wrong and test for everything?
Most doctors actually don't test for
No,
HIV.
they don't. And it's saying that most people.
But if you are homosexual and if you're straight or doing homosexual things behind your wife or girlfriend or what have you, wouldn't you want to get tested? Wouldn't you say something?
Since you said that, because there is something that's going to be mentioned here in just a minute, I'm going to go ahead and talk about. Most people, when they start seeing signs of HIV, they don't realize that's what it is. They just think, oh, my body's getting older. It's something that comes with age. And that's why I mentioned earlier, there's usually they've had it for 4.5 years on average before they find out they're HIV positive, because they've been aging and they think, well, this is just my body getting older. And it's not. It's the HIV working on their body, making it older than it should be. Research suggests that people who receive a diagnosis early tend to respond less well, and they also have worse outcomes in terms of their overall health and life expectancy. So the longer you wait to get diagnosed, probably the less shorter your life probably will be, even though we do now have drugs that bring you undetected very quickly. Even if the disease is well controlled, however, older people living with HIV face a range of challenges to their health in addition to the usual side effects of aging. And everybody does have side effects of aging. They're what are these called? Joints.
If there's any questions or comments, you can understand.
Yes, any questions or comments, please let us know. Like joints are hurting, and it may not be because HIV causes inflammation. Memory, dementia, that's going to be one of the things that we're going to discuss. And some of that dementia is not only just from the HIV, it's also from the medications that we take. It can be caused from some of that. Matter of fact, according to the NIA, which I believe is the National Infection, I can't remember what it stands for. They may, people can develop age-related conditions at a younger age. So, like if you're a younger person, you can actually develop certain age-related issues being younger, like dementia,
Makes sense.
loss of memory, motor skill functions. And of course, if you're older, that's accelerated. Whereas you might be getting something at 50 that you probably shouldn't get until you're 70.
Is that happening to you?
Actually, I do feel
I'm
like,
not putting.
no. Actually, I do feel like there are some issues, like my diabetes specifically. There are certain, even my diabetes doctor says, you know, truthfully, some of these effects that you're having, you shouldn't be having for another 5, 10, 15 years, but I'm having them now because I'm HIV positive.
Okay, Leo, do you see anything happening to your body that shouldn't be happening at your age?
Getting fat? No.
Well, I guess you said it, because medications do reduce fat on your body. And they're doing a good job on it.
One thing that I could probably say is memory. There are times where I, have trouble saying a sentence or figuring out the right word that I want to say when I used to be able to just do it right off the bat. And I think that's pretty much it at the moment, just my memory.
Well, since you mentioned yours, we're going to come to an issue that you have, because I was saying that accordingly, they may develop age-related conditions at a younger age than those without the virus. And they also have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and dementia, which I do feel some of the effects of dementia, but you are having some effects from the cardiovascular issues. Do you want to talk about that, or?
No.
All right, well, let's just move on.
Well, this year, I had issues with it. I was really surprised that my doctor was extremely surprised. My heart specialist, I see these twice a month. I go in and do the checkup to be sure I'm doing okay. So far, I'm doing okay. There's still certain things I'm not allowed to do. It kind of sucks because I just feel at my age I should not be having those problems. I think I should have been having those problems about 10 or 15 years from now, but it's happening, and it's something that I deal with every single day. Memory loss, it happens more often than I would want to admit to it.
So for those that don't know what happened to your heart, do you mind explaining?
I had a stent put in my heart. I was having a dinner party at the house in a sense, and my doctor called me. My heart specialist doctor called me. What happened was, I was having issues with, I was having pains that was from my chest going down to my arm, and I knew it was not a heart attack. And I brought it to my doctor, Dr. Martinez at Central Med downtown, and he sent me right away to a specialist, a heart specialist, and we did some tests and everything. And they put the cell machine on my heart, on top of my chest. Every time I had the pain, I would have to push a button, and it would report everything that's going on. So that night, we were at my house having a party. He kept calling me and telling me to rush to the hospital right away because I was on the verge of having a heart attack, a major heart attack. Finally, I left, went to the hospital, and the next day, they put a heart stent. Am I saying that correct? Heart stent? And so it was kind of scary. It was really kind of scary that I went through that at my age. So
At a tender young age of 33.
yes, thank you. I love you. And so, but my specialist, my heart specialist, was really surprised that, in a sense, I'm healthy, a little bit overweight, well, a little bit more than overweight, but
Do you know what you're
yes,
supposed
a
to weigh?
little. And so, what?
Do you know what you're supposed to weigh?
Yes, I'm supposed to weigh 201.
Okay.
I weigh right now 260.
I'm supposed to weigh between 195 and 205.
Yeah.
I'm a few pounds over.
So my doctor wants me to lose weight and all that, and I'm trying. I know some of my medication doesn't help. I was added on asthma pills I'm taking now because I don't remember I take so many. I know I take 12 in the morning. The first is 12 in the morning. Then I wait and I eat and I take 6 more. Then at the afternoon I gotta take 2, and at night before I go to bed I take 8 more.
Wow.
It's insane.
Now, are any of those still multiple pills that you have to take?
Yes.
You take one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the night?
Some of them do, but it's 1, 2, 4 of them might do that, and the rest of them are totally different. They all range from different things, and I gotta be careful how I take them. I don't mix them because if I mix some medication with the medication, it's not good. So I gotta be careful what I do. So
And you stick to a specific schedule for taking the medication?
yes, I know I'm supposed to take my HIV meds a certain hour, and I don't. Seriously, I don't. If I get up at 3 in the morning, I want to take them at 3 in the morning as soon as I get up. If I sleep in, get up at 7 in the morning, I'll take them at 7. My doctor says they're working. Do not do what I'm doing as long as everything's still good. So far everything's good. But aging, I mean, it sucks. We all should know except for Leo. But it is part of life. I do want to bring up something about aging and STDs and STIs. How do you think that affects you when you get older?
Actually, that's something that's mentioned in some of the reading. Being HIV positive, being older, you actually become more susceptible to contracting STDs and STIs. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a couple myself. Haven't you?
No, don't answer.
I'll give you a chance to answer, right?
I'll ask the same question when you guys are here.
Matter of fact, now I have not had an STI or STD in probably about 10 years. But when I got them, matter of fact, I had herpes specifically. It was shortly after being diagnosed. And there's a possibility that I actually had it before I was diagnosed, and I just broke out after I was diagnosed.
Because of the HIV.
Because of the HIV. So, I think as long as you're on your regimen of your HIV meds, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say you're protected, but no, you're really not. Because you're still.
Well, you can
getting
say
things
you were
like
on
that.
your medication for HIV, you will not get no STDs, STIs.
Well, no, that's kind of what I was gonna say, but that's really not what I mean to say.
Because I know a lot of people who.
I think because you're more susceptible if you're not on your medication. I guess because your immune system is working harder, you're maybe less likely, though not completely 100% safe from getting an STD.
Okay, let me get this right. Most likely you will not get an STD if you're taking your medications. That's what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is if your immune system has been improved by taking your medication, you're less likely. It's not saying that you won't. I'm just saying that because your immune system is back to a normal strength taking your medication, it'll fight off some of the STDs.
My question, I don't know if you can answer this, Leo, or you, Jace. Like me, I take so many medications. And right now, my pharmacist, actually, I was out yesterday with Gilbert. And my pharmacist called me because there was an issue with some of the medications and all that. He was running down the whole list of medications I was taking. And there's quite a few of them he's going to recommend to Dr. Martinez for me to stop taking them because it's affecting my HIV meds. And these medications are given me by other doctors, not from Dr. Martinez. And it's something I should have brought up to his attention. I have not really sat down with him. But my point is, what I'm trying to say is, the more medications that you take, like me, I probably take about, I would just say 20 pills a day, 20 different kinds of pills. The more pills I take, doesn't it weaken the immune system more? Because it's more, I've heard some people say it's too much poison in your body. It's too much medications working together at once.
I mean, there are certain types of medication that have negative effects on others. That's, you know, why you said that there are certain medications that you don't mix. I'm sure that, you know, the doctor that prescribed you those medications that are mixing with your HIV medications in a negative way doesn't know too much about HIV medications, or maybe didn't look into it, and still prescribed you those medications anyway. But I would definitely take your pharmacist's word and talk to Dr. Martinez about that. Because if you are taking medication that negatively affects your HIV medication, then it could potentially be like you're just not taking HIV medication at all.
Like I say, he called me yesterday when we were having dinner, and I probably talked to him. I was sort of being rude in a sense, but I didn't really take this phone call. And I talked to my pharmacist probably through the whole dinner, and trying to figure out what was I taking, what was not taking. But the reason he called it was, like I said, for other reasons, but he was really concerned about some of the medications that I was taking that could affect my HIV meds. And
This is the pharmacist?
yes, this is a pharmacist. And I see about 6 doctors, and I know 3 of them know about HIV, and the other ones, I don't think they're too well knowledge of what's going on. But they know the medications I take. I tell all my doctors when I go to someone before they give me the meds that I am HIV positive, and I do take these medications, and I take my, of course, my diabetes and all this. But sometimes I just feel that they don't know too much about it. They just want to give me the medication to help me out with the problem at the moment. But it's like my pharmacist said, that's something that he just realized that 2 of the medications that I'm actually taking could affect my HIV meds. So he actually recommended for me to stop taking them until I talk to Dr. Martinez. And I actually stopped taking them. But it's something that I called Dr. Martinez today, and he told me, the nurse called me back that I have an appointment with him tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock over the phone to discuss my medications and all that. And the nurse also recommended me to stop taking them until I spoke to Dr. Martinez. But my thing was, I mean, I feel the more medications you take, it just doesn't affect the other medications. I think it will affect your body too. Because mentally also, because in the beginning, the more pills I was taking, it was affecting me mentally. It was just like, how sick am I really am? And now I'm so used to it, taking all the pills, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I can see how that can affect you mentally, going from taking like a little amount of pills to having to take 20 pills a day. Like that can really mess with how you feel about yourself.
Because I actually know a couple of people who don't even take their HIV meds because mentally it affects them. Because I know one personally, I'm not going to say names of course, but one always tells me that the day that I take those pills, reality hits. I am HIV positive. I said reality is going to hit when you're in the hospital dying if you don't take your pills.
And it'll already be too late.
Yes.
You know, you talk about the number of pills, there's actually a phrase to describe that. I mean, if you're taking, like you take a ton of pills, I take several pills a day too. I take 6 in the morning and 5 at night. That's a lot of pills, and it actually can affect on your mental health. Because you're taking a look at all those pills you have to take, and you think, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? What's wrong with me?
You just.
But no, I'm trying to say, I know what you said, I'm trying to say, dementia, no, I'm trying to say there's actually a phrase for that, for when you're taking too many pills.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called, it's escaping me right now. But it does affect you.
For those that don't want to take HIV medication, there are injections that you can do, and that you can do like once a month. Maybe that could be an option for those that potentially don't like taking HIV medication. Just because if they're doing it once a month, then it's a shot that they get in some part of their body.
Downfall to that, that's not covered by Ryan White right now.
So you have to pay for it yourselves.
Do you know if that's covered by certain insurances though?
It was still recently coming out when I looked into it.
Well, one of the most unique physical challenges that older people with HIV face fall into three categories. There's the exacerbation of inflammagene, which is widespread chronic inflammation, which HIV contributes to inflammation within your body. That is associated with normal aging, because as you get older, things become inflamed, whether it's your gut or whatever.
But not your penis.
Do what?
But not your penis.
Not your penis. Let's see, interactions between multiple medical conditions or multi-morbidity, which may actually, talk about excess medications, may actually fall within that category.
You see, like with me, recently, I would say in the last, say, month or so, my knee's been hurting really bad. And I talked to Dr. Martinez and all that. He sent me to a specialist to figure out what's going on. I don't know if it's because I'm taking too many medications or if I'm just really getting numb. But it's...
Or it could be the HIV itself working
Yeah,
on your body.
it's weird because I mean, to be walking normal, then it just, my knees just want to give out because it's so much, it's such pain, it's painful. But it doesn't last long. It lasts for about 15, 20 minutes and it's gone.
Now, don't you go out for a walk every day?
The what?
Don't you go out for a walk
No,
every day?
I don't anymore. I'm supposed to, but
Did it get worse when you were doing the walk?
no. It's, I usually get up by 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm up every morning. I don't care what time I go to sleep, I'm up. If I sleep 30 minutes in an hour or so, I will be up. It's just like, I really don't do much. I clean the house at that time. Most of you know I used to go do laundry at 3 in the morning. I stopped doing that because I got yelled at quite a few times. It was dangerous. So I stopped. And now I go at 7 when the sun is up, or out, I should say. And but I really don't do much.
You should lay in bed and do bike and just pretend like you're riding a bike. Like lay on your back and just move your legs like if you're riding a bike.
I actually talked to Dr. Martinez about exercise and all that, and he told me I need to start walking. I was seeing my nutritionist, if I say that correct.
Yeah.
And she always yelled at me and told me I was overbeat. I hate that bitch, but excuse me, but hey. But it's, he recommended me to do what I used to do before I played tennis, but not in the heat of course.
Yeah.
But
That'd be nice.
he also, I do want to start playing tennis
I
again.
love tennis. I played it in Dallas a lot.
I suck at it, but I love playing it. But he also recommended me to ride a bike. I would look stupid on a bike. But it's something I'm thinking about. But I need to get out more and exercise. Basically, that's it. I know it's hard when you get older, it's a lot harder to lose the weight. So I know that for a fact.
Yes, it is very true.
I'm sure if you just grab a knife and cut off the fat, when you go to the hospital, they can do the rest for you.
Well, we should try it on James, see how it works. If it works, then we'll go for it from there.
What fat?
Yeah.
One of the other categories, the other one is the side effects of antiretroviral drug treatment. Talking about, because there are side effects, be it diarrhea, nausea, there's also interaction with other drugs, so.
You know, I know this is probably really bad of me to say, but there is an HIV medication that gives people very lucid dreams
Yes,
that I wish I could experience.
Sativa, that's the specific drug, if you want to know. And it does, because when I first was diagnosed, I took Sativa and Truvada, which became a triplet. And I would literally have to get up in the morning and take notes of what I dreamt about, because it would be, I would start to think they were actually things that really happened. Sometimes the only way I could distinguish between whether they were real or a dream was if I had a dream that was so real that I had my mother in it. And it's like, well, no, that my mom's passed away, so that couldn't happen.
There are times where I have dreams that I have a lot of money and I wake up broke and I'm just like,
Or I dream like I had this money, and then I realize that they're like, hey, you got 10,000. I was like, oh, it's still get a really good car, and then they say pennies.
Go out to eat.
Okay, we're gonna cut it right here between me and Leo. Jace is gonna stay up here still. It's gonna be Jace, Santiago and Wayne up next. And before we go, is there anything else you wanna say, Leo?
I mean, I've always had a fear of aging. I have always told myself that I don't want to get older than 21. I can't imagine myself becoming an old person. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens and what body parts break down and how I start sagging.
Start sagging?
Wow. And with me, on the other hand, I like getting older. I'm gonna be 51 in a couple weeks, and I'm actually looking forward to it.
If I could, I would be immortal at 21.
I think a lot of people would.
I'm for 55 so I can move in a retirement center.
Okay,
I'm
up
not joking, I'm
next,
so sick of neighbors right now.
up next is James, gonna stay up here, Wayne, and Santiago.
We were talking about the three broad categories. And one of them was inflammation. At one point, I said, older people with HIV, and I hope I'm saying this right, inflammation hinders the recovery of CD4 T cell counts during treatment. So basically, chronic inflammation, even if you are taking treatment to recover CD4, that hinders the chronic inflammation. Do you have any issues with either one of them? With inflammation? And when I'm saying that, it could be anything from your, like I said, your joints to other parts of your body just swelling. Like I had problems with my feet swelling. Just,
But I think the reason your feet are swollen is because you're diabetic as well.
and that could be
Because,
true.
because that is mine as well.
But then again, diabetes is an inflammation type disease as well. So obviously it's exacerbated by the fact that I'm HIV positive. So you do have swelling with your feet.
Yeah, especially like if I wear, long socks or whatever, and when I take them out, when I take my socks off, you can see the indent where my feet were swelling. And I mean, am I going to blame it on because of my diabetes? Am I going to blame it because of HIV? Or am I going to blame it because I'm just fat? You know what I'm saying? So it could be a lot of causes. You just got to figure out what it is and try to control it.
Okay, excuse me. Santiago, I know you had issues with, was it your shoulder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, is that because of you working out, or is it because
So,
of other reasons?
That is okay. So I have 2 torn rotator cuffs. So this whole year I have not worked out.
Quick question, when did you tear them?
I tore them about this time last year.
Do you think that has to do with
Getting
the
older?
aging of-
I think it's also getting older and also just going to the gym and maybe also not do. I don't stretch, so I just went in and just worked out and everything. So
But
I never warmed them up. So
Yeah.
so the wear and tear of lifting and pulling and stuff like that. I mean, just today I went to go get steroid shots. I didn't post the videos yet. They hurt like a mother. I got a steroid shot here. Like the needle is like this big. It goes in your shoulder right here. Then you get another one here, and then I also got them on my knees because the wear and tear on my knees, and also because with my weight, my knees end up hurting too.
Do you think you had more weight because of the HIV that you had?
No, I think I just added more weight because I like eating.
What do
No, but I think I'm adding more weight. Not only I'm not just gonna do the whole 15 pounds because of COVID, but that is part of it. But also, even when I was working out, I would still eat a lot because I knew I can go work it out later on. So I was like, okay, well, it's at a balance, But now with not working out, I gained weight plus a little bit more. Actually, it's not even that much. It's actually like 240 right now. So, but it's like 60 pounds more than I want to weigh. So the doctor would rather me weigh 180, but me weighing 180, I look,
Like skin and bones.
yeah, it's like, y'all might see a couple pictures already. When I dropped out to 177, and I looked like skin and bones. It's just, everybody was looking at me was like, are you okay? Are you sick? Like, and this even way before I even found out I was positive. Like 2 years before, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm just trying to lose weight, you know.
That's what they want me to weigh as well, 180. But with people with large frames, that's not.
Yeah, it doesn't look right. It's just, and that's because that's the maximum. The maximum they want you to weigh at 5'7" is 180.
Yeah.
The minimum is 149. I'm like, yo, I be looking like a scarecrow. Get the fuck out of here. No.
Do you think you can get back to your same routine, or you think your routine's over with?
So, no, I have to get back to my same routine. I can't deal with this. Especially this weekend when I went to Dallas to go see a bodybuilding competition. I saw guys that were my age, even a little bit older than me. I'm like, I could beat this motherfucker. You know, it was like, I need to get back. But again, because I tore both my rotator cuffs and I chose not to go to the gym, they didn't tell me that you can't work out. They just said, it's best for you not to work out because you're going to tear them more. So me giving them a year, giving my arms a year of not working out, it should have been repaired. But again, because of age, and maybe because of HIV as well. I mean, I'm not saying because of HIV, but maybe because of that as well, it's taking longer for me to repair my shoulders, just to get better. It just takes me longer. I mean, I know like a year before that, I went to New York to help my ex move, and I stepped wrong and I fractured my ankle. Just that slight little fracture took me a year. I couldn't really even do legs or really walk. It just hurt. Where it should, like normal people would take like 3 months, 6 months to repair. It took me a year. So maybe because, you know, we are getting older, it is taking longer for us to get better for this. I just cut myself a couple weeks ago. Again, being diabetic. And again, I'm not blaming it on HIV, but definitely being diabetic. When you cut yourself, it's going to take you that much longer to heal yourself.
Well, the thing is, you're 50. This is an issue that you probably should have had word for at least another 5-10 years. And the HIV has contributed to the fact that it's happening now.
Right.
The HIV is making your body age faster than it should. So, instead
of making you older.
Well,
yeah, it's funny because
but that's one of the reasons why you should be working out, because you can slow that process
right.
by being physically active, whether you're working out at a gym, going for walks, or whatever, riding a bike. That will slow some of that aging.
Having sex.
And you
Having
went?
sex, that's right.
Do you see any effects?
I have the complete extreme opposite. So I have joint issues of type, not necessarily arthritis, but I actually take a particular medication called benzotropic. It is for people that take several psychiatric medications. Because psychiatric medications mixed with HIV medications almost they say that they don't interact, but they do a little bit, kind of like the way that a blood thinner. I know with HIV medication, you have to be very, very careful. A blood clotting medication and blood thinner. So for me, it's extreme opposite. Like I said, so I get really, really stiff. I in the mornings have issues standing up. I stumble. I fall over. Things like that. And it's just one pill added to the other, 13 that I take through the day.
And how often do you take something during the morning?
I take 4 in the morning, and then I take 7 at bed, 7 before bedtime.
Actually, that's something that you brought up earlier too. So my pharmacist, we actually get along really good. He's a pharmacy doctor, and he'll go down my list, probably like every 6 months. Say, okay, what are you taking? Are you taking anything new? Even if it's over the counter, if I'm taking It's like my supplements from GNC or whatever.
You see, only cut you for a second. I'm not allowed to take any,
Over the counter.
not, well, over-the-counter medication. The only thing I'm allowed to take, I take over-the-counter is aspirin for my heart, of course, and Tylenol. Tylenol is just when I have pain. That is it. I'm not allowed to take it anytime.
Are you allowed
But
to
I'm
take
talking
ibuprofen?
about like vitamins and all that. I'm not allowed to take none of that. My doctor does not recommend it. Dr. Martinez always tells me not to because it does affect your HIV, the HIV meds I'm taking, and the other medications I'm taking.
Ibuprofen, like you said,
Yeah.
ibuprofen.
Are you allowed to take ibuprofen?
No,
No,
you can't take.
No.
And I think the main reason for that is because HIV medications affect your kidneys. Adding ibuprofen on top of that
Affects the
affects your
stomach
kidneys
and the kidneys.
Right.
as well. Because I'm not allowed to take that. I only have one kidney, and the HIV medications that I take does affect my kidney to some extent. If I take that ibuprofen on top of that, that just increases the effect.
Right, so that's what they tell you. I mean, they told me to stop taking ibuprofen
At
and
this
only
time
take
right
Tylenol.
now, at this time right now, if you have COVID on top of that, you really need to let your doctor know, because I was taking ibuprofen at the time, the first couple of days, and then when I got a hold of Dr. Bullitt, she's like, oh, no, stop, no ibuprofen. I don't ever want you using ibuprofen, and if you do, it's going to be prescribed by me in a larger dose, but yeah, no ibuprofen. It's Tylenol, like you said.
Yes.
So whoever your pharmacist is, they should have taught you. And I understand you have 3 doctors in one place, one in one place, and the other. And that's, I would rather be in one place. Like that's why I go to the VA, because all my doctors are there, and I just go, and they can just go down the list. It is hard for you because you have to go into multiple places.
Yes.
So if those are not linked together, and they
I
don't know.
have one pharmacist. That's Lower Heights on Main. But the new medications I started taking, those were given to me, a week ago, I believe so, a week and a half ago. And that's where my pharmacist called me up when he realized I was taking these medications. And that's when he told me not to stop. He actually told me, I recommend you to stop until you talk to your doctor, Dr. Martinez, because these medications will affect your HIV meds. And so that's why I stopped taking them. But my pharmacist is pretty good. He always tells me every time I go in to get my meds, he always tells me if I'm taking anything over the counter. He wants to know what I'm taking and all that. And I love Lower Heights, and they do call every once in a while, probably once or twice a month to see if I'm doing okay, if my medications, if you see something that one of my medications is going to be, I'm going to be out, what do you call that? When
You need a refill?
Yeah, when my refills are no longer there. If he wants me to, shut up, if he wants me to call my doctors, or if I want him to call my doctors, I prefer for him to do it.
Yeah.
But they're pretty well. I love my pharmacy.
Yeah, it's like,
And just a quick question, if your pharmacist finds a conflict in medication, should they contact your doctors at all?
Oh yes.
yeah, with
Oh yes.
That's their thing. That's
Oh,
why
yes.
this was go through it, so they would tell the hey, you can't, because it's kind of.
The reason I ask is actually, there are 2 medications I take, my atorvastatin and my fenofibrate, which can affect my liver, and they can counteract each other. So my diabetes doctor keeps a very close eye on my liver enzymes. And of course, if she sees a change in any of those, she's going to take me off the fenofibrate immediately.
See, I was on that, and they took me off of that.
Yeah, so that's why I asked if and I get a yearly review for my insurance on the insurance. Yes, sir.
As you guys get older with HIV, do you guys see a decrease in libido?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you guys see a decrease in your libido?
What's the
No, actually,
I don't know.
I have not.
I'm horny 24/7. So
With me, I don't care about sex. I got to that point that I'm not saying I had so much sex already in my life. It's just I don't care about it. I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it at the moment. It's been like that for a long time.
Hurts your knees, hurts your back, your
No.
arms.
Honestly, it's none of that. It's just I'm not. I'm not into it.
I'm at that point too.
I find it boring, disgusting. Don't get me wrong. But to me, don't want it anymore. And I used to be on the apps, don't get me wrong, I used to be on Grindr and all that. I got rid of all that. I'm no longer none of the ads, and I will not be on the ads so long as time comes. It's not because I started dating someone, it's just because before I took them off before that happened. It's just, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't consider myself normal.
I know, I'm the same way. I mean, I don't find it gross or disgusting or boring, but I just
It's
like
just depends who wants to sleep with you.
if I don't have sex with someone, like that's not gonna kill
Yeah.
the relationship or whatever. Like I'm okay, just pleasuring myself.
It's not the most
and that's
important
it.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Earlier we talked about STDs. My question to you guys is, when you get an STD and take medication for STD, like you said you had herpes. I don't know, Wayne, what you had in the past, or Santiago, or Leo, or I. You don't have to say, but I'm just saying, if you had STD or STI, you take your medications. Does that affect the medications that you're taking?
I don't think so. None of my doctors ever
I'm just
said
curious.
They're designed to work along with HIV
Yeah.
medication in the liver.
Okay.
It's a liver breakdown.
Yeah.
I was talking about how high medication that can counteract. My doctors actually consult each other before they prescribe a new medication to see if they're going to react to any of the other medications.
I know you mentioned that you had herpes. I've known the people that who had herpes, I should say still have herpes in a sense.
Say it so many times.
Hold on. I'm trying to make a point.
So you're saying that Jace had herpes?
No, he said that he had herpes. I didn't say that. He said that.
Wow.
Remember that, folks, Chase. And so, what I'm saying is, do you still take medication for that?
Yes.
No.
I do.
Oh, for herpes, yes.
Yes.
I take acyclovir. I take it twice a day. I take it every day.
Okay, is that the only STD or STI medications that is that the only one, herpes I'm talking about, or is it other STDs, STIs that you get that you take medications for the rest of your life? Leo?
Well, the reason I take mine all the time is it keeps it at bay. It keeps me from getting
To flaring up.
Yeah.
Coming
Yeah.
But
back.
also, doesn't it also not only keep from flaring up, but
I
from
use it
transmitting?
also around my mouth, so it
From
keeps
transmitting it also?
Yes, keeps you from
Because I think that's one of the only ones. I thought there was one more that is still transmittable that you still have to take meds.
You see, that's what I'm asking. I don't
But
know.
as far as like syphilis, chlamydia,
I was gonna say genital warts, but that's a form of herpes.
yeah, those you just take your meds. You know, you don't have sex for a week or a month or whatever it is.
I think it's
Syphilis is a week.
No,
hepatitis.
it's not. It's 8 weeks.
Hepatitis B is the one that you gotta take meds all the time too.
I think right, hepatitis C.
No.
Hepatitis and herpes.
Oh, yeah, B.
C's curable, it's
Yeah,
B.
thank you.
Have to.
Yeah, because I had a friend in college. They got it. You know, we used to make fun of him all the time because he had to take it all the time. He used to call him herpes. Yo, herpes, come here. You know.
Oh, I don't know what.
But you know, we're talking about just aging. I met with somebody last night, and he needed to talk to me about his HIV and how he felt about it. He's had it for a good while, and he still can't accept it. And he's at the point that he feels lonely, that he feels like he doesn't want to tell his family because it's already bad enough that he's gay, but that his family's gonna judge him, that he's HIV positive, that he would rather die alone.
How old is he?
Probably about mid-40s.
And how long has he been HIV positive? You know?
Probably about 6-7 years. And he was like just crying. He's like, you're the only one that's gonna tell me the truth. You know, talk to me like pretty bluntly because I met him at one of my meetings. And you know, and I just felt so bad. It's like I told him, you know, what's the worst case scenario? Just tell your mom, tell your dad. You know, they're already judging you. They're gonna judge you. I'd rather them judge me when I'm dead.
But,
Like,
but
dude.
you see, I personally, and this is probably the ignorant part of me, I honestly feel that someone older could accept it more better than someone younger. because they've seen it more?
I don't know. Because
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Right, I understand what you're saying, but I think it's to the point, and I think most of us, I know, and I'll be truthful with me, is that even with or without HIV, me thinking, look, I'm 50, I'm still single, am I ever gonna get married? Am I gonna have more kids? Am I gonna die alone? So this is the way the guy was thinking. So everything he was saying, I've already thought about. That he felt some certain way. He's like, I don't want to just settle with somebody, and just so I could be with somebody and not die alone. But that's the way I feel. That I'm no who's gonna come to my funeral? You know. So again, going with the aging and HIV, that hits you hard because not only that you're getting old or you're older, but now that you're HIV and you still don't want to tell your family, that must really be hard for that individual. You know, some of my family already know, and those are the ones that actually matter. The other ones, if they find out, they find out. They don't. I really give rat's ass. But the ones that are important to me, I've told. I mean, I think it took me a while before I told them. I mean, as soon as I found out, I went and told my sister. You know, we were cool with it. You know, then I told my aunt later on. But some of the other ones, like I don't even relate with you. I don't even talk with you. So it's like, you don't even know my business, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the people that do matter in my life, yes, they do know. You know, going back to the aging is like, I think once you get older, like I said, you're getting older, you're thinking about dying alone. I mean, who else has thought about that? You, Jace? Have you ever thought about?
Yes, I do. I have thought about dying alone.
That's why he joined Tinder.
Hey,
No, I'm serious. That's
that's
why I have somebody who live with me, because I don't want to be laying in my bed dead for 3, 4, 5 days before somebody finds me.
I was actually thinking about that today, because I live alone with my cat. But I was like, what if I just died? Like, I'd just be here.
Wiggles is gonna have lunch for a week.
Probably a month.
Maybe. What about you? Okay, but what about you?
Don't get me going on that.
No.
That's with my mind. I don't even want to think about it.
Okay.
Okay.
I go into panic attacks. It worries me.
You know, it worries a lot of people. I mean, there's some people that I know, like, they don't care, they would rather be alone and not tell anybody their life or anything. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be dying alone. You know, but at the same time, I'm not going to settle and find somebody just because they found me attractive. With that said, I spoke to somebody that me and Mark met in Dallas a couple of years ago. And he was mad because I couldn't make the time to go be with him. It's like, you should be lucky that I'm giving you time to talk. I was like, yo, nigga, what? And then the hood came out. I was like, yo, nigga, you all fucked up now. I'm like, no. You should be lucky because look at your track record. Look at it. You can't even keep a job. You're living in a hotel room that some sugar daddy's paying for you right now. This and that and the third. You know, and then you have all this other baggage. The only thing I got is HIV. I can work, I can fucking drive, I can do all these things. I don't need you. I want a man, but I'm not gonna settle.
I mean, since you're talking, we're starting to get into the next area, which is mental health and cognitive, but I want to read a couple more things here, and then we'll get into the mental health issues. As a result of factors such as inflammagene, and late diagnosis, older people with HIV are more likely to experience a phenomenon known as multimorbidity. It's which several chronic conditions interact to worsen their overall health. For example, you have diabetes, you have issues with your shoulders. I have diabetes.
Dementia.
I have kidney disease.
Dementia.
I think I am starting to get dementia.
Which one of the 14?
Yeah, and here we've got a choice. So getting older makes it worse, and having HIV makes it worse. Matter of fact, with age, the kidneys and the liver become less efficient at detoxifying the drugs in your system, whether it's, like Mark was talking about, he takes a handful of drugs 3 times a day. Well, your kidneys and your liver help detoxify that. And having HIV makes it less. In addition to infections that often coexist with HIV infections, such as hepatitis C, they may also further impair liver function. Let's go into the mental health and cognitive challenges. Possible challenges to the mental health and well-being of older people with HIV include HIV-associated neurocognitive disorders, which there's a phrase called HAND that refers to that. Yep. There's depression, there's trauma, and there's loneliness. Up to 45% of the people with HIV develop cognitive difficulties such as memory. We all forget shit. Concentration. There are times when I'm working on something and I get sidetracked. I'm thinking, well, what was I doing? I lose my concentration. Planning and decision making. How many people here have those problems?
We all do.
I have to write things down. I actually have to have a list of like all my doctor's appointments. I went yesterday to the VA thinking I had an appointment. No. I went to another appointment today. Nope, I didn't have it till tomorrow. So unless I have it written down or it's on my phone, you know, they're just.
I'm the same way. If it's on the calendar on my phone, it's like it doesn't exist. It doesn't happen.
And so the sad thing is about this is I'm very familiar with HAND. Social Security, when doing, going through the process of trying to secure Social Security, they do not recognize HAND as a diagnosis.
I would say because you do, like you said, you have 14, 15, 100 different issues.
Thanks.
Just using your own words, man.
Well, he didn't say 100.
14, 15.
How many of those issues that I just mentioned in hand do you suffer from? Every one of them, or a few of them, or and how does it affect your life? And
so I'm thinking probably 3 because HAND also has an issue to do with joints, with joint stiffness, the cloudiness. I've always kind of had it, but now with the cloudiness, now they've got the new COVID fog thing going on, which I finally got someone to listen, and I will be doing. I can't remember the appointment exactly. It's about a month out, but. UHS has a new COVID clinic for post-COVID patients, and I'm going to get in with that and start talking to them about that because I've kind of always had it, but in the last like 2 weeks, it's been unbelievable. I'd be driving down the highway, taking the same exit that I've taken for the last 6 years, and miss it just like that. Last night, I was cutting people off and missing the turnaround, and so it falls kind of in with HAND. But like I said, they won't recognize a lot of it. They're just.
But those are the things that
falls on deaf ears.
Those are the things we need to worry about. I love driving. I hate waiting on people and them showing up late or doing stuff. if I want to go somewhere, I just want to go. I don't want my age affecting me and them taking away my license. You know. It's bad enough that I have to start wearing glasses.
Is that anybody else's word about? Because that is a word for me that when I eventually get another car, I'm going to have to get a new license. I'm worried about my cognitive issues affecting me being able to do the driver's license. Does that bother anybody else?
I'm not worried. I'm worried for the other people because I'm still going to be going 90 on the highway 190.
You like a dangerous driver.
Oh,
You'll be old and blind, still going 90.
And I'm in the car with Richard, I'm going 65, and I'm going 80 faster. You don't like it, you can shoot the finger at me and go around.
I used to go speaking.
I put that car on cruise control all over the city.
But simple little things like that you don't want to lose. Lose privileges that you've had. I love driving.
And the thing is, if you get medically flagged, like I was, it is hard to get that flag moved off of it. So, it took me about 6 years to get that medical flag removed.
I'll be honest, I had COVID, so there's a few of us that had COVID. I'm not saying who else had it, but what I'm saying is, I feel like it's affected all of us one way or another. Like, I'm starting to forget stuff. I've talked to my doctor, it's like, maybe that's, one of the side effects.
She said, yeah, COVID, that is a side effect, but do you think it may have been made worse because you're also
So, yeah, so that's what I'm going with. I feel like it's escalated a little bit of everything. So where my back would hurt, and I only had HIV in my age, now I feel like it's double the effect. And now I feel it hurts more. Waking up in the morning, my feet hurting just to get up and just start walking. I mean, as soon as I get out of bed, I'm like, yo, my fucking feet, you know. I'm like, and I'm just like, not crawling, but, you know, kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a soft step because it just hurts so much, you know. Being COVID, HIV, and our age, yo, we got hit good this year. Like,
And mental illness,
Yes.
and mental illness or something.
and seizures.
See, 4 more years, then we get our discount, so I'm good.
I want to point something out real quick. It says that cognitive problems are likely to be more severe if the diagnosis of HIV is like, meaning you're diagnosed at 50 or older. Now, a lot of us are not that worried. I do want to bring up one more thing before we close, because we are running out of time. Actually, we probably have run out of time. Because I want to mention that they note that a survey of adults age 60 and older in general population found that 40% of them experience loneliness. So if you're HIV positive and 60 and older and you're feeling lonely, reach out to us. And we'll be more than happy to be there for us. Is there anything else you need to talk about? Any announcements?
Okay, hey, thank you for listening. And again, if y'all have topics, hit us up so we can talk about it.
All right, we do have another.
Thank you. We got 2 more coming in.
I have announcements.
Okay, guys, we're about to close it out. I want to announce this Friday coming up at 8 o'clock here at Woodland Point at 702 Donaldson. Like I said, Woodland Point, we're having our drag show. We're not having a drag, they're having a drag show. It's $10. The tickets, you can buy them online tonight, or you can buy them at the door. If possible, we'll have a raffle with 4 raffles going on. Tickets are $1, and they're 6 for 5?
Yes.
6 for 5.
6 or 5. I do show up and support if you guys can. Another thing, I know through COVID, I know there's a lot of depression going on, that still people are still stuck at home. Numbers are going up. The bars are closing down again on Thursday. It's going to affect a lot of people. I'm not saying there's a bunch of alcoholics here in San Antonio, but I'm saying it will affect people that work at the bars, bartenders, managers, servers. It does affect a lot of people. And there's few of us, not me, but people that like going out and we drink every once in a while. It's not going to be possible here pretty soon. I don't know if all the bars are closing down, or it's just bars itself, or not the bars but the restaurants. I do not know the details about it, but I know some of them will be closing on Thursday.
It's bars that don't serve food.
Food. Okay, is that considered to be like a food truck up there? Or,
I don't think so. They have to actually.
They have to have their food in the bar.
okay. If anybody wants to talk to anybody, if anybody needs to talk to anybody, reach out to us. We will put our numbers out again tonight. I know I will put mine out later on tonight. Hopefully Leo, Jay's will too, and Wayne. If you want to talk to Sandio, hit him up on Messenger, Grindr, Adam for Adam. He's out there. He will talk to you guys too.
Scruff.
I cannot promise
Especially if
he's
you're
not gonna hit on you, but I hope not, but still.
I'm sure if you look under a rock, they'll be there.
Yes, we love our Sunday Island. But if you need to talk to someone, talk to us. If you need help, we do try to get you the help. We are not psychiatrists or counselors or what have you, doctors. We are us.
And
We're
if
just
we don't know, we may know where you can go. If
Yes.
you need professional help.
And if we don't know the answer for it, give us a minute or two, we'll get you the answer. We'll look for it. basically, anything else, you know?
If you do decide to come to the drag show, please wear a ugly Christmas sweaters for the contest. I don't know what the prizes are, but you could win something.
And do wear your mask, and it will be 6
Social
o'clock.
distance,
Distance, it will be in the
Real,
distance.
another real quick thing is, we have a few of our members who have been having some health issues. There's Tyler who's had the stroke. Kenny has had, COVID. Another gentleman, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, is also having some health issues. We just need to remember them and keep them in our thoughts and our prayers.
Anything else?
Jay, I know you put that in the comment that the friend that you were asking help for is no longer with us. So we do send our condolences, and we are here if you need to talk to any one of us. Our numbers will be on the Facebook shortly. So feel free to text any one of us, just vent or have someone to talk to. And I think that's it.
On that note, we say goodbye, we love you guys, and we will see you next Tuesday. Be safe. Wear a mask.
We'll see you from Disney World.